I didn't even see it. I don't pay attention to stuff like that. I just know none of them can mess with me. But I wish I could just run, and with 7 feet and run and just dunk. Like that takes no skill at all. I got to actually learn how to play basketball and how to have skill. I take that any day.
So basically, Harden was like, "You made a joke," because I don't find it funny.
He said he didn't see the joke. I think he saw it.
I feel like he probably heard or saw the joke. But okay, Stephen A. Like it, love it, hate it. Harden going back at Giannis.
I love it. I don't have a problem with it because Harden can ball, and he's earned the right to address somebody that definitely attacked him. And I totally agreed with his response to Rachel Nichols when he said, I didn't see the joke. I looked at Giannis Antetokounmpo's face. He wasn't laughing. He wasn't smirking. And he wasn't joking. He meant exactly what the hell he said. And so when you James Harden and you're a superstar player in this league, fresh off of averaging 36 a game, averaging 35 right now, clearly considered one of the greatest one-on-one players in the history of basketball, and you put up the numbers that he's been putting up, the Greek freak is legit. He's real. He's authentic. We get all of that. He's no champion. He's no champion yet. He hasn't advanced any further than James Harden yet. So James Harden is sitting there going like this, wait a minute now. I've been here. I've been doing this. I appreciate the fact that you come onto the scene, but respect your brother here because I'm no scrub. I am a superstar in this game, and I don't have a problem with James Harden saying it at all.
I do. I mean, he can say it if he wants, but Harden's being a little sensitive. He's being sensitive. And look, Giannis is the reigning MVP. Giannis is about to win MVP again. Same league as Harden.
So
Harden's
James
balling
was
out
an
of
MVP.
control.
James is an MVP.
Yeah, he is. But so is Giannis. And Giannis
And he
is the
could have been a
reigning
two-time
MVP.
MVP. Should have been.
Facts, Stephen A.
I disagree, but Giannis is the reigning and defending and about to be repeat MVP of the league right in the middle of James Harden's prime. They're both great. Giannis a little better. That's why he's winning the award. And so Harden's a little sensitive, but let me tell you the real reason I believe Harden's sensitive. When he says, well, I'd love to be 7 feet, that doesn't take skill to do what he does. That's true. James Harden has to be much more skillful than Giannis because he's not as tall or as athletic as Giannis. So he has to be more skillful. Here's the bottom line. Why isn't Harden getting more respect? Because when you look at the regular season numbers, even in this scoring era, even with his usage rate, even on a D'Antoni team, all those things are true, and he's still putting up absurd cartoon numbers. He doesn't have more respect because when it's mattered most, he's choked. Well, let's just say what it is. If he was
Can
a
I
champion,
stop you right there?
If he was
Can
a
I stop you
champion,
right there?
get.
Max, not
Yeah.
you, bro. Not you. Not the dude that called Giannis the greatest in the world on a Thursday, and by that Monday he was barely top 5 because he got smoked in 2 games against Kawhi.
Yep.
That same Greek freak that you're just talking about. Yes, I'm sorry. That same Greek freak that you just talked about. Okay, you were saying you acknowledged that he didn't produce
100%.
when it counted.
That's right.
So how come you're not holding that against him?
That's one time since he's entered his prime where you say, boy, Giannis, he had a good series until then, a good postseason until then, but then got done when it mattered most. James Harden's made a career out of it, including going back to OKC. Let's just be honest about what it is.
James Harden shooting threes and Giannis is dunking.
Whatever
like he
the
said,
case may
Giannis
be,
is
by
7
hook,
feet and dunking, and James Harden is shooting threes.
By hook or by crook, why isn't Harden getting more respect than that? And the answer is he's not in the circle with LeBron and Kawhi because he's not a champion. And he's not a champion because when it's mattered most, he's been ice cold. Now, I root for Harden. I hope he can do it. But that's the reason he's being sensitive about it.
Or, Stephen A., is it because of Harden's style of play?
Hold on, Roz. That's definitely you could call that Harden's style of play, but nobody can stop him. That's the bottom line. He's a magician on the offensive side of the ball.
He stops himself.
Let's give him his respect. That's number one. Hold on. Number 2, let me go back to a point that you made because when you sit up there and you say he's being sensitive, yo, Max, with a straight face, no fluff, no laughing, a contemporary in the league said in the aftermath of the All-Star game, honestly, we were looking for whoever James Harden was guarding. Damn. And it wasn't even after a regular season game. It's an exhibition game. It's an all-star game. An all-star weekend. You dissed them. I mean, listen, I love the
how
Greek
much
freak. Love him.
disrespect is
And
that
I
on
love him.
national
But he
TV?
did. I mean, damn.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but okay,
I mean, damn.
Two
He
things.
dissed him, Max.
One, he's a
He
competitor
dissed
for
him.
the MVP every year, so Giannis is going at him. That's how Giannis is. He doesn't work out with players on other teams and all that kind of stuff, right? I mean,
So why
let's
can't
tell it what
Harden
it
go
is.
back at him?
Oh,
Giannis started it.
Then go back at Giannis, but he's
Max.
coming, or then go at Giannis, but he's coming off as sensitive. Giannis is what, 5-6 years younger than Harden. Harden has consistently choked. Let me say something about
How
Harden.
do you take that, Max?
Harden is an underrated
Max.
defender. He's an underrated passer. He's an underrated team player. But he is also choked when it's mattered most, so he doesn't get the respect of other guys who've done what he's done.
Why I'm sitting here visually frustrated with what you're saying. Max Kellerman, you could step out on the basketball court right now in a meaningless game in the park. And if somebody said, yo, give the ball to whoever he's guarding, you would have a problem with that. That's very disrespectful.
Disrespectful.
That's very disrespectful.
Yeah,
Disrespectful.
You're right, but there's
how cocky, and I'm not mad at Giannis for it.
I never wanted to play. I never wanted to play defense, Max, and I'm here to tell you, if somebody said give it to whoever Stephen A. guarded, I'm going to turn into a damn
but there's a
defender.
difference.
What the
Hold on,
hell
yo.
you think
Let's
you're
be
talking
honest.
to? That's what I would look at that person
Let's
if they
be
said that
honest.
about me.
There's
What?
let's be honest. You can smell it on someone. There's a difference between when they're going at someone and being aggressive and when they're being defensive. James Harden is starting to say, well, I have more assists than this guy. He's responding to what Giannis is saying.
How could he be defensive? It was a stray shot. He was minding his own business, and Giannis came out and made this comment, which is super bold. And to your point, Giannis is younger. Yes, he's an MVP. He's younger. Like, I feel like even though he's an MVP, I feel like that's a bold statement to say to one of the best players over years in the league right now.
It's not, Roz, it ain't bold. Roz, it ain't bold. It's disrespectful.
It's disrespectful.
Wait,
it's disrespectful.
And B, Max, I will remind you, just a week ago, Max, you said James Harden as a post defender is pretty damn good.
He is. He's an underrated defender, an underrated passer, and an underrated team player. I'm not talking about that. I'm describing why he's being disrespected. Because he's not a champion, because he has choked. That's the reason he's not a champion. And that's one and two.
That's
the way
not
he
what
went
Giannis
back,
said.
That's
not what Giannis said. You go in. Come back to what Giannis said.
We're
going to get a ball whoever he's
Harden said. Harden, the way he went back at Giannis, go at Giannis. Don't start making excuses for yourself.
And to quote Stephen A., to be clear, I'm not mad at Giannis saying that about Harden, but Harden has every right to clap back. Watch the full interview on The Jump with Rachel Nichols, 3 Eastern today.
Very disrespectful.
Thanks for
Very. I love Giannis, but very
Giannis,
disrespectful.
good for you for saying
it.
Harden, clap back. Clap back.
Warriors, no LeBron James for Los Angeles. We got Shanae Ogwumike and Matt Barnes here. Second quarter is where we're going to pick it up. Lakers up by 5. Dwight Howard trying to screen Draymond Green for Kyle Kuzma. Green falling down on the contact, and Green appeared, Shanae, to trip Howard as he hit the floor. What'd you see here?
I don't know if it was a trip. It was a frustration moment because that was sort of like a blind screen that he didn't see coming, and that's what set him off.
Yeah, that's his second technical foul. The technicals came 11 seconds apart. Matt, and LeBron thinks it's kind of funny.
It's been that kind of year for Draymond. I mean, he's been the one consistent all-star that the Warriors have had to ride this season out. So this doesn't bother me at all.
Third quarter, LA now leading by 7. Anthony Davis powering his way there. LeBron loves it, doing a little dance. Davis finished with 23 points. Later in the third, Lakers up by 19, and you see Davis laying out here to save the ball.
Look, we expect that from Rajon Rondo, but that came from AD, who's almost 7 feet tall. That's how talented he is. Not only as a scorer, but as a passer. I mean, that's crazy.
All right, so Kuzma finishes with 18 points. LeBron fired up. The bench loves it. Lakers win 116-86. And LeBron seemed to be enjoying himself watching from the victory. Okay, but is this something that the Lakers should be doing more of?
Or say it's a groin, a hamstring. They can put any kind of term on it just so they don't get that little baby $25,000 fine, but he needs rest.
I know you have a feeling about load management, Greeny. And, you know, if there's one player that deserves it, it's absolutely LeBron James. He's 35 years old, and he's given his all so far this season, so much so that we say he could maybe catch up to Giannis Antetokounmpo in the MVP race. But what I see here is there will be an opportunity for LeBron to be load managed, not necessarily now, but later on. The Lakers are 45-12, and they have 6 more wins than the Denver Nuggets at the number 2 spot. eventually towards the end of the season, he will have an opportunity to rest. But if you think about it, the time is not necessarily now. It's good against the Warriors, but everyone else, maybe it's a bigger question.
See, load management to me is not the same thing as an aging player who needs rest.
1,000%
and particularly not as you go down the stretch towards the playoffs. LeBron James, at the age of 35, who is carrying as much of the load for his team as he is, I actually don't have an issue with him sitting a game out here or there if they feel that's critical for him. That's not the same thing as load management. Get to the other piece of that.
Yeah, so